Hi everybody, this is Herb Day, and on this episode of Beyond the Stage, we're going to be visiting with country music singer, songwriter, member of the Kentucky Country Music Hall of Fame, regular on the Penny Gilly Show on RFD TV, and owner of the world's most haunted country nightclub, Bobby Mackey. After nearly 50 years of providing country entertainment, dancing, and fun to the Cincinnati area as well as the great Midwest, the old club is coming down and a new one will take its place soon on Route 9 in Wilder, Kentucky. We're going to tour the old club as it's being demolished, and we'll visit with Bobby at the club's temporary home in Florence, Kentucky, here on Beyond the Stage, right after this. Beyond the Stage is made possible in part by Southern State Community College's Truck Driving Academy, where you can be behind the wheel of a big rig in as soon as 4 weeks. Call 937-393-3431 to find out how. And now, Beyond the Stage. Hello everyone, Herb Day once again Beyond the Stage, and once again we're talking with Bobby Mackey. And we spoke with Bobby before from the original club of, it's known as Bobby Mackey's Music World.
Wilder,
Kentucky. But it's coming down. And it's a new chapter in the career and life of Bobby Mackey. But this is, we're sitting in Florence, Kentucky right now at the temporary home of Bobby Mackey's. It's greatly different than...
Yeah, you can see now what I meant when I said when I found what I was looking for.
Yeah.
It was available, we had to go for it.
Oh, absolutely. It's a nice environment. It is different,
yeah,
but it serves the purpose.
It's warming up with personality.
Yeah.
People getting used to it.
Right.
See, it was a new place for us, and the people didn't know what to think.
Yeah.
Had to get used to it. People got to get comfortable in the place.
What does this kind of take you back in your mind to the days of playing Julie's and the Boulevard?
Yeah,
and
places like this is a whole lot like Julie's was.
Yeah. I thought it was as soon as we stepped through the door, I thought, wow, I've been here before, even though I haven't been here before.
It puts me in the mind of Julie's a lot.
Yeah. Tell me about the response. Your fan base has followed you.
Yeah, and you and I know that there ain't many bands playing real traditional country music.
That's right.
Bands just don't do it anymore.
I know.
A lot of them will call themselves country, but they ain't.
Yeah.
Well, we're authentic country music.
I know.
And that's all I'm ever going to be. And there are people that can't find it nowhere else.
Yeah.
And they appreciate that I still keep it going.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I started this show, was for the preservation of real traditional country music, not the so-called country music. You know, it's big business, and God bless those who are playing the others, but it's not traditional country. But you know, at the same time, I think that the music industry is ignoring how large the traditional country fan base remains.
Yeah, that's true. But they aim their music at the young people.
Yeah. Well, that would be me, and it's missing. Of course, I'm young. What are you talking?
I got a few years on you.
I got a few years on you, baby. That's all.
I did record that once.
Did you do that?
That's on one of my albums. Yeah. I did it like George Jones might have done it if he did.
Yeah. It's great stuff. Hey, speaking of your music, you're still making the music. You're still recording.
Yep.
You're playing new traditional country.
Yeah, it's I look at it as a legacy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's something that will perpetuate traditional country music and keep it going. There are a number of acts out there that are doing it, but in my mind, of course, you and I go back many, many years. But you are you were telling me about a song that you have just recorded about a cowboy hat.
Yeah, the guy that wrote it, Randy Archer, wrote the song. He's from Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and he wrote the song I had, "Let Me Drink About It."
Oh yeah, yeah.
He
Great
wrote
song.
that, and he wrote "Someday I Won't Wake Up Loving You."
Great song.
And you know, working with Dennis Hensley, we're getting better and better songs.
Yeah.
And Dennis handles all the production.
He's the maestro.
We'll
isn't
get
he?
the rhythm tracks down, and we'll send it off to get the lead put on.
Yeah. Oh, is that
Send
right?
it to a steel player and get the best steel player we can get.
Man, oh man.
And
You just about have this down to a fine science.
yeah, and with technology that's grown like it has,
Right.
we can email track to them, and the guy usually all these great musicians anymore got their own little studios in their house,
Yeah.
so they can get a song email and sit down in their studio and play on it and send it back to us.
Man. Well, that's great.
So we don't have to go down there and spend 2 or 3 days in the studio down in Nashville.
Well, so in that way, the advent of new technology has been good for you. Now, tell me about this song, because we're going to play it, and it's a great song. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, this cowboy, he wasn't a cowboy.
Yeah.
So he was from L.A. and he was in Dallas, Texas, having a good time.
Yeah.
And he had just bought the cowboy hat that day.
Yeah.
And this girl took him for a cowboy. So he went out of his way to impress her that he was. And then she really liked cowboys, so he signed up for the weekend rodeo.
That never really would have happened, would it?
No. Then he thought he'd get out of town, but you made it to where he couldn't leave. He had to stay and get in the rodeo. It was I can't rope and I can't ride, and I'll bust more than my pride.
And the title of the song is?
I'm gonna wish I'd never seen this hat. I met her last night here in Dallas. Didn't tell her I was from L.A. I led her to believe I was a cowboy, but I just bought the cowboy hat that day. I was smooth as glass out on the dance floor. I learned a two-step from a video. She whispered in my ear, I sure like cowboys. So I signed up for the weekend rodeo. But I can't rope and I can't ride, and I'll bust more than my pride when they pull the gate and I'm eating dirt and nothing flat. So I'd best get out of town before showtime comes around, or I'm gonna wish I'd never seen this hat. I impressed her with the terms I was using. I'd picked up from reading Louis L'Amour. Now she's convinced that I am authentic. Why, she even asked me all about my horse. She told me there was something about my Stetson that makes a cowgirl want a do-si-do. She winked and said she's planning something special, and that she'd see me after the rodeo. But I can't rope and I can't ride, and I'll bust more than my pride when they pull the gate and I'm eating dirt and nothing flat. I'd best get out of town before showtime comes around, or I'm gonna wish I'd never seen this hat. But I can't rope and I can't ride, and And I'll bust more than my pride when they pull the gate and I'm eating dirt and nothing flat. So I best get out of town before showtime comes around, or I'm gonna wish I'd never seen this hat. I'm gonna wish I'd never seen this hat.
What a great tune. Bobby, you're still looking for music. You're still making new traditional country music.
I always got my eye on looking for new songs. And sometimes you can find a good new song that was recorded years ago.
Yeah.
I can update it. If it's a good song, it's a good song anytime.
Oh, that's right.
But new songs, I'm always looking for them. And just when I find it's a great song, I get really excited about it. And just found a song that I just can't get out of my head. It's just a great song for me, you know.
Yeah.
All songs ain't for me.
Yeah.
But this one is, and I can't wait to record it. Dennis Hensley and I are going to have to get in the studio and cut this thing soon.
Oh my! You played it for me, and
I played a little demo that I recorded with me and my guitar.
Yeah.
I'm so sold on the song.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing the.
It's called "I'm Still in the State You Left Me In."
Yeah. Some double entendres there, double meanings, and which
she left and is gone, but he's still in the state she left him in.
Yeah. So that's great. We look forward to that. You've written a lot through the years.
I've written some. I never was really happy with writing, and I can't concentrate on it that much. But I can get an idea for a song and start working on it, and then something else will hit my mind, and I'll say, well, I'll finish it later.
Sure. And later never comes.
I wrote a song that Lisa Lane from out in Fort Worth sang with me. Honey, I Do Too was the name of it.
I remember that.
She sang it with me, and in fact, Penny Gilley wants she and I to do that song on the next recording of the Penny Gilley show that I'm going to be.
Oh, that would be great
next year.
Yeah.
She invited me to be a regular on the show again next year, so I'll be out there in February recording a year's worth of shows.
You wrote Johanna.
I wrote Johanna in 1989.
Yeah. And that was about the ghost.
Yeah, that's when it first started getting around, and Doug Hensley wrote a book about it called Hell's Gate, and so then I wrote the song to go along with all that, and it's been crazy through the years. It's not a radio song. It's only popular in the paranormal world.
Yeah.
And it's been viewed on YouTube over 3 million times.
That is amazing. You know, it's one of those hot buttons for people.
Everybody that liked Ghost Adventures loved the song.
Do you notice that the views and the popularity of the song seems to repeat a peak around Halloween?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It does. And I don't know if the spirits are going to stay over there and take over the new place or not.
Are you in negotiations with them?
I don't know how you do that. I can't talk the language.
But now, some of the people who are in the know of such things, they are going to come over and scope out the vibes, aren't they, in the new club?
Yeah. Through the years, people have come from every place.
Yeah.
I mean, all over to investigate the place.
Yeah.
And people that are really they have paranormal groups and they're really professional with it. They got the equipment.
Yeah.
They set up equipment. They got something, I don't know how to explain it. I'll probably sound stupid here when I go talking about this. But they've got something that a light will come on if there's a spirit in the room.
Really?
Yeah, a light will come on. So they're very professional. Well, probably when they get the new place built and get open, I'll probably get some of those professionals to come in and tell me what they think, because the well's still going to be there.
Right.
The activity that has
Emanated from
been
the well.
within the club has had to do with that well.
Right, right.
Because I think we talked about it earlier, but the well was a place where they drained the blood from a slaughterhouse that was on the site back in the late 1800s.
Right, right.
So anyway, and it goes on from there, but everybody that has come in and investigated has swore that there is activity there.
Sure, sure.
Now, from the beginning, I never believed any of it, and I still can't wholeheartedly say I do. But it's been bigger than
the Beatles.
Bigger than me. And the crazy thing, and people have come from everywhere, and it's just everybody knows about it. Everybody knows about the well, the old club. So many of them hate to see the old club go. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, including me, but it just became one of those things. Denise and I just needed to get out of the place.
Yeah.
I hate to say I was ashamed of the place, because I never was ashamed of the place, because everybody, the crowds come there.
Yeah.
Crowds just kept coming. We always had a crowd.
Right.
So I'm not knocking none of that. It's always been great for me. I'm blessed to have had it and to have been there.
Yeah.
But this reached a point where the roof was leaking, the parts of the building over 100 years old.
Yeah.
And now's the time to do it.
Sure.
We decided that we'd find a place, and we'd been looking for a year or more, and we looked at several places, and nothing suited us.
Yeah.
Until we found this place, and we had to put this together in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And move.
Well,
but anyway, so the club, we're going to tear it down, and I really miss Wilder. I miss Wilder, Kentucky.
Yeah.
But Florence is good to us too.
Yeah. If we can go back to Johanna, the legend of Johanna, is that based on legend that was handed down, or is that based on legend that Bobby Mackey wrote?
No, well, Doug Hensley wrote the book, so he did the research, and he come up with that.
I see.
That there was a group years ago before this all got out at all. Nobody knew anything about it. And there was a group wanted to do a seance there.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night. So I allowed them to do that, and there was this clairvoyant that picked up the name Johanna from that.
Really? So it came from the seance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Doug wrote the book and researched the name, and there was a poem up in the old spotlight room that above the dance floor, old hill place. There was a poem in the room that written on the wall that Johanna had supposedly written, and in fact we cut that off the wall and put it in the auction, and it sold.
Huh. Wow.
So I bid on it.
Wow.
And bought it.
I know that through the years there have been those patrons of the club and others who have claimed to have seen an entity, whether or not it was Johanna or.
Well, and then there was another one, Pearl Bryan, that they believed two guys murdered her.
Yeah.
Back in 1896.
Right.
They hung for it. They found her body, but never did find her head. And they believed that the head was disposed of in the well, where they drained the blood from the slaughterhouse. And supposedly that these guys were into devil worshiping. I don't want nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
But that's the story about Pearl Bryan's fate.
Have you ever participated in one of the seances, or
No.
did you keep your distance?
I refuse.
Yeah.
So they had an exorcism of Carl, Carl Lawson was the boy that took care of the place for us.
Right.
He kept it cleaned up and kept the beer stocked, and he loved being there. He loved that place.
Yeah.
And he was a good person. He was very, he wouldn't hurt nobody's feelings for nothing. He always kept to himself. But I swear, I'd go down there and talk to him about something or something we needed to do, or I'd have to talk to him a few minutes to figure out how to talk to him, because he was always different. He had several personalities. I know
Really?
I know he did.
Oh my.
And he liked being there, and he talked to them all the time.
Yeah.
He talked to the spirits.
Oh me.
So that's where a lot of this come from.
Sure.
And he started telling me, Carl Lawson was his name, and by the way, his Bible sold for I think $1,500.
Really?
We had his Bible,
Oh my.
and people bid like crazy on his Bible.
Yes, right.
But Carl was like I said, a good person. He was his own worst enemy. And he started trying to tell me these stories when I first opened up there, and he was a kid up the street. And he come through the door, and I'm Carl, if you need any help. And so we put him to work painting and cleaning and
Sure.
so on. And Carl just became a part of the place.
Yeah.
And he started trying to tell me stories, and I wasn't paying no attention, because at that point I was concentrating on getting open.
Yeah.
And I had to make it work.
Yeah.
I had to make it work. So Carl started trying to tell me some stories, and he got my attention one day. I said, what are you trying to tell me? You saying there's strange things going on around here? Oh, he said, you wouldn't believe some of the things that go on around here. That's exactly what he said to me. I said, well, I don't know what you're talking about, but I don't want to hear about it. I don't want you telling nobody else. I said, don't talk about it.
Don't scare people away.
I didn't want. I come from up in the country, up in
Yeah.
Wilkes County, Kentucky.
Yeah.
If there was a haunted house there somewhere out there in the woods, I wouldn't go near it. Never would I go near that. I thought people won't want to come here.
Right.
So he didn't. He didn't talk to nobody about it. 10 years down the road's when it started coming out.
Yeah.
After that seance.
Wow. Now, did I understand you to say that there was a seance after Carl passed and trying to call upon
no,
him?
it was while Carl was there.
Oh, while he was there.
But a minister came in there and did an exorcism,
an exorcism.
on him.
Yes.
And it's on YouTube someplace.
Yeah.
You can see that.
Well, there's a lot of, as a matter of fact, all of these things that we're talking about you can find on YouTube. Let me ask you this: I know that you're a country music entertainer and singer and so on and so forth, but you're also the owner of the most haunted club probably in the world.
That's what I hear.
But let me ask you your opinion on something. I've already asked you if you believed it, but tell me your thoughts for Bobby Mackey for the afterlife.
I don't know. I'm gonna live as long as I can.
I mean, there are a couple of, actually there's a number of trains of thoughts
Yeah.
on the thing, and one is there's an evil side to it, there's a holy side to it.
Yeah.
There's heaven, there's hell.
Well, I certainly was raised in church.
Yeah.
I was in church every Sunday.
Right.
Growing up.
Right. So I guess that probably would be part of the conflict.
Maybe that answers your question.
It could be. It could be that maybe that's part of the conflict that you had with kind of keeping your distance from it.
I think probably so.
Yeah, letting it take the life
But
of its own.
I just couldn't conceive it being a real thing.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah.
But I'm convinced that some people really do believe it.
Now the layout of the new club, it's going to make the well more accessible, is it not?
Yes, we're going to build on the ground. For anybody to visit the well previously,
Right.
they had to go to the basement to do it.
Yes.
We're going to be in the basement. We're going to build on the ground, and I'm going to keep the well exposed when we pour the foundation. I'm going to keep it open.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing the you know, the plans and so on and so forth.
We're gonna set up. My wife and I worked on how we arrange everything.
Yeah.
And everything is going to be set up pretty much like it was. It's bound to remind people of the old place.
Sure.
Where the bar is going to be, it's in the same situation as where the bar has always been.
Right.
In relation to the stage, and of course now the ballroom was back past the wall. So
stage.
The building will be square. The building will be square, but I'm going to move the ballroom all the way to the opposite end. Which will be all the way in the back of the new club.
Yeah.
And the well will be nearby there. From where the well is in the basement, when we build there, I know about where it'll be situated. Near the entrance.
You just celebrated 46 years.
Yeah.
In the business or in the club.
In the club.
But I detect excitement over this.
It's building more.
Yeah. I'm talking about in Bobby Mackey. I see that gleam in your eyes.
Yeah.
Not that I ever saw it go away, but you know.
It's just one more thing I got to do.
Yeah. Well, that is terrific. If there is anything that you would like people to know about Bobby Mackey that maybe they don't, what would it be?
I don't know. I love country music.
Yeah.
But who didn't know that?
Yeah, really. Absolutely.
You know, country music has been a part of my life on a daily basis.
Yeah.
There's not a day goes by that I don't look for songs or hear a song that I really like, and I'll learn it or contemplate maybe recording it.
Mm-hmm.
Every day there's songs in my head.
Isn't it true that the only job you held other than music was the railroad?
Yeah, I worked on the railroad right out of high school and I kept my seniority rights for a little while, but when I got into music full time, I gave the railroad up.
Yeah. Some of the important people who helped you along the way.
Oh, many people.
Let's talk about some of them.
Well, when I was working on the railroad and in the area, like around Silver Grove, in the area, I would go to jam sessions on Sundays. Back then, there was a jam session in every little bar around town.
Always look forward to it.
I got to going over in Taylor Mill. There was a place called Seven Oaks, and I started going there every Sunday, and I got to know the band and the people in there, and I'd get up and sing and got attention. Well, Red Jenkins had a band, a 4-piece band, and needed a singer. He'd been playing with Landon Williams at the Black Stallion.
Yeah.
And Landon had a record out, was doing pretty good, and he was getting ready to go on the road. And the band had day jobs, and they wouldn't leave town.
Yeah.
So he let them go and hired a group of musicians that could go on the road with him.
Right.
Well, Red had been asking around looking for a singer, and he talked to somebody that knew me from Seven Oaks at the jam session.
Yeah.
So Red called me. I heard you could sing. I said, well, I love doing it, you know.
Yeah.
He said, well, I got a band. We need a singer. I didn't know at the time that they needed the Landon Williams is what they needed.
Yeah.
And I knew all the songs he did.
Yeah.
Fit like a glove. I knew all the new songs because I learned all the new songs on the radio.
Sure.
When the new songs would come out, George Jones had a song, I learned it.
Yep.
Merle Haggard, I learned it. So I knew them all, and the band knew them too because they played them with Landon.
Right.
So that's the way that took place. Red asked me on the phone that right then. He said, well, we got a gig this Friday night over here at the Apple in Woodlawn. He said, can you make it? I said, yeah, I can. So he told me how to get there. And I went there and shook hands with all 4 of them. Had never met none of them. Shook hands with all 4 of them, and we come out playing music.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Okay.
We shook hands and come out playing music.
Yeah. How long from that point on did you give up the job on the railroad?
Within a year.
Within the year.
In fact, when I got the call, I was getting laid off on the railroad.
Oh.
In the wintertime when the lakes froze over,
right.
the Great Lakes froze over, that coal that they would take up there by railroad and dump it in barges and truck it across the lake.
Right.
And but when the lakes froze up, the coal stopped.
Yeah.
So I got laid off.
Yeah.
And
So the decision was kind of made for you.
well, but I was only laid off in the wintertime. Come springtime, when they called me back, I didn't go.
You didn't go. Well, that's great.
That's how it happened.
Was it scary?
I gave it some thought.
Yeah. No regrets.
No,
No.
I'd do it all over again.
What a life it's been.
Hey, country music, man, you know. Hank Williams Sr. was the first voice I recognized.
Yeah.
And when I heard him sing, when I was 4 years old, my life was changed forever.
Yeah.
And so nothing but Hank. And I'd listen to the radio, and Hank's was the only voice I'd recognize. And I would listen to the radio, and this was preschool. I'd listen to the radio, and I'd know they was going to play a Hank song, and I'd listen until they played one, and then I'd go out and play, because I knew it'd be a while before they'd play another one.
Yeah.
So that's the way that went. And Mom took me to a talent contest at 4 years old, and I sang "Your Cheating Heart"
Yeah.
in the talent contest. And the crowd like scared me to death. They'd stomp their feet and screaming, and it scared me to death. Mom had took me up and stood me on the stage. It was a talent contest, and she set me on the stage, and I was singing "Your Cheating Heart." No music, just singing it. And
Oh, no music.
no, the crowd went crazy.
Wow.
And I finished the song, and I was looking for Mom. I saw her coming across the dance floor to get me. I didn't wait till she got there. I leaped and grabbed her around the neck.
Oh my goodness.
And then, you know, from there, I mean, Mom taught me to sing.
Yeah.
She taught me to sing before I can even remember.
Yeah.
And then she taught me to play guitar. At 8 years old, I got my first guitar, and she taught me to play guitar.
Wow. Your mom, she hasn't been gone terribly long.
2 years.
2 years.
She lived to be 103.
103.
Yeah, she was wonderful.
Longevity, is that?
Wonderful person.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's why I said I'm gonna live forever. You know.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, well, that's.
Her doctor told me she had to have a pacemaker put in. I don't know, some years back. And I was in the room when her heart doctor come in, and she introduced me to him. And he looked at me and said, "You better hope you got her genes."
Yeah. Well, you know, family is important. That support system that keeps you motivated and keeps you going. And
I got some wonderful grandkids.
Yeah,
Got some wonderful grandkids.
you do.
Proud of each and every one of them.
A couple of beautiful daughters.
Yep.
And
Yeah, the whole family.
you know, they say that behind every man is a good woman that supports him.
Yeah,
And vice
I've
versa.
been blessed there too.
Tell me about that woman that stands with you. Your wife.
Say it again.
Your wife. Tell me about Denise.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't understand what you said.
Yeah.
Can you edit that out? My wife Denise, she does everything. She runs everything. If I could teach her to sing, I wouldn't have to do nothing.
All right, Denise.
But I've heard her sing, and ain't no use trying.
Oh, is that? Now that sounds like what we ought to edit out to keep you alive. Oh, my goodness.
She's right, I can't sing.
She says she can't
I
sing.
could tell that other story too. I could tell that other story. She's the sixth girl. She had her mom and dad had 6 girls in a row,
Really?
and then 2 boys after that.
Is that right?
She was the 6th girl, and I tease her about it. I think her mother taught the first 5 how to cook and left her go.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well. Oh, well.
she taught the first 5.
Yeah. Well, she's going to be cooking later on here for us, right?
We'll cook up something.
Which restaurant?
There's a couple blocks from here, I think.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I just got to say, I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate the friendship we've had all through the years.
Oh, man. You're the best.
It's been a great friendship.
I cherish it, and it means a lot.
We actually met just before I opened the nightclub, didn't we?
Absolutely, and I was there that night. You know, every time the anniversary comes around for that, and you put up another number, I feel older, even older than I do at my birthday. You know.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wonder, you know, you've been open. That's been open 46 years, and I'm only 32. So how's that possible?
You know, the date that we opened, I didn't realize this till just a few years back. That was Jimmy Rogers, the singing brakeman.
Yeah.
Jimmy Rogers' birthday.
Was it really?
September the 8th.
Well, I think he would approve.
I believe he would, because I was a singing brakeman too.
Yes, you were, as a
I
matter
was
of
a
fact.
brakeman on the railroad.
What a coincidence that is. This is my buddy Bobby Mackey,
Thank you, Herb.
and you want to look forward to the newly constructed Bobby Mackey's on Route 9 in Wilder, Kentucky, coming soon. We'll keep you posted on that. And visit him at his new location. And this is, what is the address here? It is 45?
8405.
8405
US 42.
in Florence, Kentucky.
Used to be Mugby's some years back. That wasn't the name of it when we got it here about 6 months ago, but it was a popular place back a few years ago, Mugby's.
Well, it sounds like it is now too.
We're getting there.
Bobby, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening and watching Beyond the Stage. Thanks for watching Beyond the Stage. If you enjoy what you see here, please click like at the bottom of your screen and subscribe to my channel. For more of your favorite country music and the men and women who make it great, I hope you'll visit us often here on Beyond the Stage.